Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my NXT review. Before I do anything on NXT, before we even get into this review, I'm sure everybody has heard the unfortunate news today, and I know there was a graphic at the beginning of the show tonight. But listen, we all know that unfortunately, Shad Gaspard has passed away. We knew he went missing on Monday. And, we all know about the story about him being at the beach with his family and how he was in the water. And I know there was other swimmers, but unfortunately a riptide came in and hit them. And, lifeguards did everything they could to save them and everything. But, Shad, when they got to him, he told the lifeguards to specifically save his son first and then come back for him. Unfortunately, when they came back for him, the water basically took him in. They looked for him. I know it was for over 24 hours until they finally called off the search and everything. And I think I found out this. I know I found out today, but they said his body washed up, upon the shore. I think overnight and everything, and because at first I just heard it was a body, but once they identified it, it was him. I think they said they found out by the same shorts he was wearing that Sunday when he was at the beach. So an unfortunate, tragic end that happened to Shad Gaspard. One half member of Crime Time in the WWE. Like I said, it's a sad story all the way around. I didn't want to come on Monday, and I know I talked about this Monday too, but I didn't want to say my condolences at the time because he was missing, and I'm sure everybody was hoping and praying that there would be some type of miracle that he'd be okay and he would make it out of this. But it's been like almost 3 days now since Sunday, and finally overnight that his body washed up upon shore, which it does give the family closure because at least they don't know he's missing anymore, and at least plan a proper funeral for him. But it's a sad situation around the board. Because I like Crime Time, all right, and like I said, I've seen a lot of wrestlers talk on him today. Like I said, many great things throughout the entire industry. Whatever wrestling company that mostly almost everybody had something nice to say about him or some story about him, and how basically he was just a very great person, very generous person, selfless and everything. And like I said, I like Crime Time. Many years ago when they came up in about 2006, I believe, on Raw. I think I got that timeline right, 2005. And listen, there's a lot of great Crime Time moments between him and JTG. I like throughout the years, from the mini segments they had in the back with DX. That was always funny with Sean trying to tell for shizzle. They trying to get the scalp tickets and everything, and they give him the money and whatnot. Or when they sold Lita's personal stuff. I think it was like Lita's last match. I don't remember the pay-per-view, but I know one of those was like some type of giant dildo, and it was like selling to the crowd and making money on it. Crime Time and John Cena destroying JBL's limo. That was another good moment. I do remember that very well. I also like the one when they ended up robbing Booker T. I think they took his watch in the back one time. That was always funny. I don't always know that people said that their whole gimmick was mostly like a stereotype and everything and whatnot. But a lot of people said, man, they brought the hood to WWE. During that time. And now I always find them entertaining and whatnot. I can understand why people say it was a stereotype and whatnot, but I like Crime Time. They were always funny to me. I'm surprised they were never the tag team champions at one point. I almost thought they did. I could have swore they won the titles, but I don't think they ever did win the tag titles. Like I said, I like both of them. Shad, big dude. The dude was a beast in the ring, though. I will say that. Like I said, because they were in the company to like about 2010. Well, I think Shad got released first. I think I spoke about this the other day. And, JTG got released some years later because I knew Crime Time was back together a couple years ago because I know they reformed and everything. I don't know if it was when JTG left and they kind of reformed, because Shad and them, they still kind of wrestle on the indies here and there, but I didn't know Shad did that much outside of WWE, honestly. But I know he was in some movies, and he was like Bodyguard, and he was doing a lot of stuff ever since he was gone out the company. One thing I did not know, I didn't know he was doing the mocap for the God of War video game that came out a few years ago, back in 2018. He did the mocap and like did all the fighting in it, so he basically was Kratos during that time. I did not know that. I know he was in some movies. I know he was in that movie Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Somebody told me he was on Nickelodeon. It's probably other stuff I don't know he was on. Okay, it's probably a lot. I don't know what he did outside of WWE. And like I said, I saw a couple times they were there in the Indies, and I thought him and JTG looked way bigger than they did before. And some people wonder why they would never sign to a company. Even I had to say that, because I'm like, these guys can still go. I'm surprised no one didn't sign them when they were still around. I even knew they were going to be doing some stuff before, like I said before, they were going to be doing some things over WrestleMania weekend until, the world started going to shit and everything. But like Crime Time was still kind of active, and like I said, they were still out there wrestling. Shad, like I said, Shad did a lot outside this company, so this stuff I don't even know about that I'm still kind of figuring out today. Okay, I still remember the video from last year when Kofi Kingston won the title, and him and MVP hugged and embraced. I know a lot of people brought up that video today because I do remember that last year, and it's like I said, it's a lot to say about what happened. What happened with Shad and everything. However you want to remember him, because I'm sure there's a lot of moments people have, especially with Crime Time and whatnot, or anything he did outside of wrestling. But like I said before, it's a tragic story at the end of the day. Shad, he died a hero. Okay, I'm sure everybody can agree on that. Shad died a hero, saving his son's life. All right, and you gotta respect that and everything. Like I said, it's a tragedy either way you look at it. Like I said, I'm glad he saved his life, but it's unfortunate that he still lost his. But I do remember also he stopped the armed robbery a few years ago back and held the guy down with the gun. So, like I said, Shad did. Like I said, I heard a lot of stories. They have just him and his generosity, and how he was just great to people, and he was a great person. But just the way he went out, he went out a hero. He went out. He basically made the ultimate sacrifice as a father. Okay, so you have to give him all the credit in the world for saving his son's life, and you gotta respect that. All right, that's just the biggest respect you gotta give him. So that's what I can mostly say about it, because I've been seeing, I've seen some people online try to talk shit and everything. Fuck them, try to just ignore those comments and everything, because the most of what I've heard, mostly everything, it was just positivity about Shad, and just many memories of people they've had of him online. Like I said, it's still sad what happened. We all wanted a different outcome for this, but like I say, I had to look at the reality for this. Like, you want to hope for the best, but you got to prepare for the worst. And I just had to see the reality into all this, okay? And I guess in a way it was bound to possibly happen sooner or later. And today is just that day. And I'm sure everybody, anybody right now is saying 2020 is just a very, very horrible, messed up year, which, I can say that too. And, just kind of adds on to the pile of it and everything. I was just surprised he's only 39 years old, though. Like, that's not really old. So this guy was just still going, and he was still great. He was just still doing things out here. But, like I said before, it's very unfortunate and sad to what happened. But as I reiterated, he died a hero, okay? He died a hero, saving his own son's life. So you have to give him just the ultimate respect into that, because he basically sacrificed himself for him. And I'm sure anybody that is a dad out there, anything, can most likely agree on that statement. So yeah, man, R.I.P. Shad, man. Like I said, Crime Time, that was I loved watching Crime Time growing up. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm trying to get this out as well as much as I can. I know I'm probably rambling here and there about it, but when I read the news that they found the body, like I said, it bummed me out the other day when I first read about it when he got lost. But now that, like I said, now that you just finally found out what happened, it sucks. It really does suck. But like I said, celebrate this man's life, because this man went out as a hero. So he went out with a bang. I can say that in a way. So like I said, I know WWE put a graphic up for him tonight and everything, and I'll probably say some things. I probably already said in the AEW review, because they kind of said a couple things on it too. But I just wanted to take a few minutes before I actually got into the NXT review and pretty much talk about Shad and what I kind of remember of him, and some stuff I'm finding out today and everything, just the whole story about it. So that's all I got to say. So we're gonna transition into the NXT review from here. But yes, as we do kick off NXT tonight in the road to In Your House, or Takeover In Your House, we kick it off with Killer Crosses and Scarlett Bordeaux's badass looking entrance, of course, with the lip sync and everything, and just an awesome entrance. Cross ended up going against Liam, to what this guy's name is. Basically a squash match. 2 Doomsday Saidos and a cross jacket for the win. But as they stood in the ring right after, Tommaso Ciampa came out. He wanted to introduce himself, saying that you are in my home right now, and he knows Cross knows that. He respects him for going after the main event attraction of this show, and pretty much says, listen, you got a killer entrance and everything, and you're special amongst a lot of these guys and legends around the WWE. But he understands that he's special, but Ciampa said he's also special, and that a takeover in your house, it's going to be Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. And he told Kross, welcome to the main event. So yes, it is confirmed, Kross versus Ciampa at TakeOver. That is going to be a very badass match, of course. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. So we'll see what comes from this, but I am looking very forward to this match at In Your House. And like I said, very good promo from Ciampa, of course. So we'll see what happens with this. Next, though, another Cruiserweight tournament match, Group B, El Hijo de Fantasma versus Akira Tozawa. Very good match. I did enjoy this. Really good, I will say that, even going to the finish of it. This tournament itself, I've just kind of been in and out of. I know it's been a lot of quick matches through this, but this one actually had a little bit more time on it. I thought it was pretty good. I know Tozawa ended up hitting his senton on Phantasma, but he rolled out. He tried to get Phantasma back in the ring, but Phantasma knocked him to the ground. He ended up hitting his, suicide dive, or the depths of hell looked like, pretty much taking down Tozawa, throwing him back inside the ring. Then he pretty much put him into a fireman's carry, but Tozawa put him in the octopus hold in after that. But Phantasma ended up hitting the Thrill of the Hunt on him for the win. So Phantasma moves on to the tournament, which is expected if you ask me. But a very good match between both of these guys, between him and Tozawa. So Phantasma does move on in the tournament. Next, we got Timothy Thatcher. As he talked about, he was done with his Riddle circus, and he enjoyed breaking apart Riddle's limbs. So now he's challenged into a match where you can only win by knockout or tap out, and pretty much any location Riddle wants, basically. And I can tell what this match has turned into, and we'll get to Riddle on this also, because he cut a promo, says, me and you, we are going to fight, and we're going to fight where we know somewhere, a cage. So next week, it's actually going to be a cage fight. I don't know why it's not a takeover, But or maybe they will have a match takeover for all I know. But this match is next week. Next week, a cage fight. All I can really think of this is Bloodsport. Okay, if you know what Bloodsport is from Josh Barnett, or Matt Riddle was the first one to come up with Bloodsport before they signed him to the WWE, and I know Josh Barnett controls it nowadays. But if you watched Bloodsport before, expect this from both Riddle and Thatcher, because now it looks like it's about to turn into some type of UFC fight. They didn't say cage match; they said a cage fight. And the way they're putting it, okay, octagon in a way, a fight and whatnot, only gonna win by knockout or tap out. It almost sounds like a UFC fight, but if you know what Bloodsport is, that's what they look like they're trying to go for right now. So basically, WWE is trying to be Bloodsport with Matt Riddle and Thatcher, which works in both of these guys' cases because they do have some type of legit fighting background, especially Matt Riddle, who has fought in the UFC and everything. And I've seen Thatcher on the Bloodsport before also, so he is legit also in this. So looking forward to that next week. We got a promo video of Shotzi Blackheart sitting on a tank, an actual tank, I should say. And she talked about basically, talk about what she's doing in NXT right now, and that basically the reason why she rides a tank, not a regular car, but a tank, because she don't give a shit. Basically, she says she's a badass. Her dad is a badass and everything, and how she introduced him. He introduced her, I guess, to bikes and everything, or tanks, and pretty much she had that punk rock persona that she joined the punk rock band, but now she wanted to mix it with wrestling then. And then she got in the tank, and I thought she was actually going to shoot a missile out this tank because it was an Abbott tank. She called it the Dirty Blonde, by the way. That's what this tank was called, the Dirty Blonde. And she started running over a whole bunch of cars, pretty much talking about the division then. Pretty much, Dakota Kai, you're done. Raquel Gonzalez, as they see them, she doesn't care what they think. Chelsea Green, check your makeup. Candice LeRae, she just squished a pixie. So yeah, she pretty much putting the women's division on lock right now, on notice, saying that prepare to get crushed if you get in her way. She did her howling thing. So I would say this promo video made Shotzi Blackheart look like a badass. She didn't drive in a little toy tank. She drove in a real freaking tank. I'm almost surprised they didn't let her shoot missiles at the freaking field somewhere. They probably have to be in the desert to do that. But they rode around on a legitimate tank, okay? So that promo was very good, and it made her look like a badass. So, good for Shotzi Blackheart. Santana Garrett went against Mia Yim. Not really much of a match from this. Pretty quick. Protect Your Neck, Mia Yim won. But right after, Johnny Gargano pretty much started coming out singing Mia Yim's theme song, mocking it. Candice LeRae pretty much said that finally Mia Yim here, dropping the ball against Charlotte and everything. And, pretty much Gargano said that Yim dropped it like it's hot. Whoever heard that line before. And pretty much said that Mia Yim, you lost to Charlotte. And pretty much they were headed to the ring as they got on different sides. Yim knocked down Gargano, and pretty much her and Candice LeRae pretty much fought for a second. Again, Yim had the upper hand, but Gargano held the rope down. That Yim fell outside. Keith Lee came for the save then. As they backed off, Keith Lee helped Mia Yim up. They both got in the ring as Gargano and Candice LeRae basically got out of there at one point. So I expect some type of tag team match from this. Like I said last week, this is probably some couple versus couple thing, since that they basically this is legit because both are legitimate couples. So I see where they're going for this, or it's going to be for the North American Championship, because they end up talking to Keith Lee right after. Even he had to say, like, first off, who records themselves eating dinner? That doesn't make any sense, all right? So why is that even happening? Who films themselves doing that? But he challenged Gargano, it looked like, to a match at TakeOver. So 9 times out of 10, it's going to be for the North American Championship. Cameron Grimes pretty much talked about being Finn Balor last week. And no one said it's a surprise upset, but it's Grimes' time. He said, next. Next, though, they talked to Rockstar Spud, talking about his match tonight with Kushida and what he's going to do. Talking about he's tired of being an underdog and anything and everything. He's tired of a lot of stuff going around right now, but the one thing he has to do is win tonight. Undisputed Era came out. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong was getting ready for his match against Dexter Lumis. The rest of the Undisputed Era left as, Sam Shaw there. Dexter Lumis came out doing his creepy stare and everything. This was actually pretty a good match, I'll say that. I'm sure a lot of people say that mostly because of Roderick Strong, because he can pretty much make any match look good, but this was really good with him and Lumis. I was actually surprised by the outcome of this, especially, after Lumis hit him with a spine buster. Pretty much Strong tried to go for the stronghold, but it was countered, and Strong ended up pretty much sitting on him to get the pin on him then. But right after the match, Lumis ended up, pretty much grabbing him, put him in the Kitagat, made his, chokehold submission. The rest of the Undisputed Era pretty much came out and started kicking Dexter Lumis, but he no-sold all the kicks, and they were setting him up for one big kick. But next, Velveteen Dream shows up and attacks the Undisputed Era. Had the Undisputed Era shirt on, by the way. Pretty much threw Fish into the wall, and then he super kicked Cole over into the crowd. Dream climbed up all the way to the top rope, jumped over the barricade, and hit him with a big purple rainmaker. I swear it looked edited, by the way, at the last second, but he had a big purple rainmaker on him, and as Dream celebrated, Lumis pretty much sat there holding Roderick Strong's head, coddling his hair, just petting it and everything after he put him in the chokehold. So a pretty good match from Lumis and Strong, but I think what kind of mattered more was happening after the match, because I was actually surprised seeing Lumis lose, but he basically just came back and took down Roderick Strong, as the Undisputed Era tried to attack them. He just no-sells everything, just no-sold it, and Dream comes out for the save. So there is some type of team thing going on with Dream and Lumis. I don't know yet, but it looks like it's going somewhere. But that was pretty good from Dream, doing that big purple rainmaker from the top rope all the way to the outside the barricade and ring and whatnot. So that was pretty good. And he had the Undisputed Era gear on, so that was good. Even the image of him by the steps and Lumis just petting Strong's head was good. So I did like that. Next, we got Akira Tozawa walking in the parking lot. Where is this going? And El Hijo De Fantasma congratulated him. But next thing you know, the Luchador Ninjas show up and they attack Akira Tozawa. Fantasma gets out of his truck and chases them off. So, the Ninjas attack again, folks. The Lucha Ninjas, which I'm still thinking Phantasma the leader at this point, which someone almost gives it away now. It's almost given away at this point. So, the Ninjas attack, and I'm sure Phantasma's the leader. Only Lorcan and Danny Burch went against Everrise. For some reason, they dress like the Young Bucks. I don't know why. Gear very similar. Like I said, it was basically a squash match, though, for Lorcan and Burch. So Lorcan and Burch got the win, of course, with those uppercuts and whatnot. So, they put them in the crossface. They put them in their submission holds and won. So, Lorcan and Burch won. Kushida went against Spud, Group A, which I kind of figured he was going to win. Spud was going to win due to Kushida was mostly focusing on Spud's arm throughout the entire match, trying to put him in the hoverboard, attacking his arm several times, even from the top rope. Spud doing his best to fight back several times, even knocking him off, and he got him up to the top rope after dodging the hoverboard again, and he tried to go for a modified bulldog, but they both landed. Basically, Kushida still had Spud's arm and putting it back into the hoverboard, but Spud ended up pretty much, lifting him, rolling him up for the win, at least getting a clean win from here, because they had Jake Atlas watching from ringside, but he never did anything. But Spud moves on in this tournament, and now since they're all tied, next week will be a triple threat match to see who will move on against El Hijo de Fantasma. I still think Spud's whole thing is a work, since it's still real. I'm still convinced more and more it's a work in this entire thing, because I feel like I would not be surprised if he ends up winning the match next week and moves on to the title. I'm almost surprised if he ends up winning the title, now that I think about it, because I still think it's odd that this guy is technically released, but he's still in the company in this tournament and whatnot. He's still in this tournament and whatnot, so It's a work. I think Spud's whole thing is just a work at this point. Just how it's been kind of presented. Like, it's real, but we're making this into a storyline for some reason with him getting released. So, yeah, I'm just convinced more and more it's a work. But next, though, we got Damian Priest talking about Finn Balor, and he'll be champion soon enough, but he wanted to take out Finn Balor because he knows where Balor made his name is at TakeOver, and now he wants to make that name, and that his name will live forever. So yes, Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at In Your House TakeOver. That's gonna happen. But in the main event, we got Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai. Not a bad match, I'll say that. Pretty good. I like some of it, but I kind of figured what was gonna happen in the end of this too. Because, Io Shirai, I know she did a suicide dive on Ripley until, Charlotte's music hit and she started to watch. Shirai ended up throwing Ripley into Charlotte, putting them back into the ring in the 619 after doing the crossface and even hitting a drop kick on her. Shirai pretty much, got it back in. Did the Meteora then, and pretty much DDT'd Ripley into the onto the ground. But Charlotte comes in with a big boot, spears Ripley, ends in a DQ. All I can think of right now is triple threat match at TakeOver: Ripley, Charlotte, and Shirai right there for the NXT Women's Championship. Because, Charlotte is on all three shows now at this point. On Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT. She is everywhere right now, okay? And I'm sure people are losing their mind. She was on Raw Monday. She's on NXT tonight. And she'll be on SmackDown this Friday. So, there you go. Charlotte is just on all three shows right now, okay? The main event was okay. But looking at this now, I'm sure it'll be a triple threat title match at, TakeOver In Your House, okay? So expect that to happen. But like I said, the match was okay. But the rest of the show, pretty good. It does set up some matches for TakeOver tonight. We got, and for next week, I'm surprised not saving Thatcher and Riddle for TakeOver, because I still think this looks like a blood sport match. Like I said, Champ for Challenge and Cross tonight. Of course, the tournament still goes on. Spud ends up moving on. Even the announcers kind of gave it away since they keep playing to his arm now through the entire match. So you knew what was going to happen there. The Shotzi Blackheart video promo was pretty good, too. Loomis going against Roderick Strong was pretty good, especially with Dream coming out to make the save. That wasn't that bad either. So there are some positives to take from NXT tonight that was really good, okay? Some of it. I know some were a little bit of squash matches here and there, or sets ups. Like I said, a lot of setup matches. But basically, this was the setup for NXT TakeOver In Your House that's coming up, okay? So get ready for that. But other than that, though, that is my review of NXT tonight. It's mostly I can come up with everything that's came from this show tonight. I'll say that, especially in the main event and whatnot. But this is my review for NXT, though. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890, etc., etc. And check out any other review that is online right now. You know why? Because we're getting that money. Yeah, yeah. Money, yeah, money, yeah. I think you all know what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm out of here. Make sure you check out the AEW review also, and any other video that is online as of this NXT one too. So I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace. R.I.P. Shad. Pour him out one time. Brooklyn.